Our speaker is a licensed psychologist, guidance counselor, speaker, and award-winning author specializing in family life, mental health, and digital parenting. With a PhD in family studies and over 25 years of psychoeducational experience, she integrates theology, psychology, and practical wisdom in her work. She serves as director of the Light of Jesus Pastoral Care Center, teaches at Miriam College and Don Bosco Theological Seminary, and actively advocates for holistic formation through writing, consulting, and community engagement. And above all, she is a mom of 2 teens and a wife of 22 years. Let's all welcome our speaker for this morning, Dr. Michelle Alignay.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Can you tell the person beside you, huwag ka munang matutulog? I'm looking at my crowd. Sigurado ako hindi kayo Gen Z. No? Sino say, baby boomers, taas ang kamay. Ay, madam. So kayo ay meron na ngayon mga apostolate, tama? Okay, now, sino naman ang mga Gen X tulad ko? Yan. Meron ba tayong mga Gen Y or mga millennials? Meron din. Bakit po kayo nandito? Assignment po ba kayo per session? Hindi naman. You're interested with the topic? Okay, hopefully you are interested with the topic. So, we're going to talk about parenting in the digital age, which is very different. It's very different. Sino sa inyo nahirap maintindihan ng mga bata ngayon? Pero di ba hirap din naman yung mga magulang natin na intindihin tayo? Yes, ganun din yun. Yun nga lang, iba ang konteksto ng mga bata ngayon. They operate differently. So anong nabago is, honestly, nabago yung takbo ng buhay, nabago ang digital media and our interaction with it. But honestly, I always teach this, I always give this talk. Pero I'm not going to talk about technology. If you heard the introduction, I am from the field of psychology. Ang perspective that I'm giving you is what I teach in developmental psychology. Paano to nakaka-apekto sa buhay natin? Ano naman pwede natin gawing mga magulang, mga lola, lolo, everyone advocating. So, we're raising now the Gen Zs and the Alpha Gen. So, interchangeably ginagamit natin yung mga words sa technology, gadgets. Sino sa inyo yung gumamit itong word na to or line na to? Kaga-gadget mo yan. Diba? Taas ang kamay. Sabihin nyo nga ng malutong, kaga-gadget nyo, diba? Diba? Masakit yung mata, kaga-gadget mo yan. Eh, diba hindi lang naman sa bata, minsan sa matanda rin. Diba? Kaga-gadget mo yan. Gadgets, sa mga bata ang tawag natin dyan, screen time. Kasi hindi lang yan basta gadget, pwede rin yan TV, pwede rin yan computer, laptop, desktop, anything with screen, digital media. Magkaiba po ang digital media sa social media. Ang social media, mamaya I'll show you ang digital media, everything that operates digitally. So yan yung mga term na gagamitin natin. Iba yung internet yung connection natin. Si digital media, ito yung content, yung laman ng so everything that we operate, even Google is digital media. Everything there, software, everything that operates inside a gadget, through the internet, it's digital media. And then of course, the gadget, technology. Pero social media, ito yung mga apps and platforms that we interact. At yung screen time, the time spent using a gadget. So, iba-iba to. So, ngayon, I want to show you this, kung narinig nyo to sa balita. Have you heard of this? Australia just passed the world first law banning under 16s from social media despite safety concerns. Narinig nyo to sa news? Hindi ko alam kung makakarating ang Pilipinas sa level na to. Ha? Ano po? Winish ko rin to. I would like to tell you na ang isa sa Australia sa pinakamaganda ang laws governing children and their digital use. So ngayon, nilevel up pa nila. I think New Zealand is following at may mga bansa na nag-ban na niyan. Sa Australia, 16 and below. Denmark, 15 and below. Norway, proposal nila ng ban, it's pending, 14 and below. France, parental consent for 15. So bago maka-download ang bata, at 15 kailangan may parental consent. And then Spain, they're trying to restrict at 16. Bakit kaya? Di ba kayo nagtataka? Bakit kaya nila ito ginagawa? Ang ganda naman ang napupulot sa digital media, sa social media. Probably. So, let's go through that. But I want you to also look at this slide. So, kilala nyo si Roblox? Kilala nyo si Roblox? Sino dito ang nagro-Roblox? Yan, bata eh. How long do you play Roblox? How long? Tell tita, it's okay. Ganito ha, kasama nyo anak nyo, huwag nyo sasabihin sa kanya na, tira mo, sabi niya, huwag nyo akong gagamiting panakot ha. So here, parents are encouraging to delete Roblox. Should you? In the States, in the US, marami pong nagdidemanda ngayon sa Roblox because of grooming. Kasi nagki-create ang bata and then they play a game with, some servers and then they interact with other players. At itong players na to, hindi lahat bata. Yung iba ay, this is, disclaimer, this is not for kids. So kung comfortable kayo, kaya nyo i-communicate lahat ng i-download ko, it's your responsibility, not mine. Okay? So kung meron kayong anak at kaya nyong palabasin nyo. Marami akong sensitive content na sasabihin. Kung hindi nyo kayang i-discuss, please make your kids go out. Diyan lang sa lobby. So siguraduhin nyo lang na kaya nyong iproseso. So marami kasing grooming. So online sexual predators na pala yung kalaro ng anak na nagpe-pretend na bata. Madami yan. Madami yan. And this is the saddest thing. Did you see the news recently? Yesterday. So there's a social media personality who died. Huwag natin siyang i-judge. Walang magka-judge. Because it's a multifaceted concern. Pero ano yung problema dito? I just read earlier, yesterday, that she was actually bashed for the past months because she speak out so much about corruption. Sorry ha, pero pinuputakti siya ng mga trolls. That's how we go to the church. Manggugulo ako sa buhay niyo. We go to the church, but that's how mean we have become as a culture. At saan po ito nagsisimula? Lahat yan nagsisimula sa family. Because there is such thing as excessive digital media use. We are all allowed to use digital media, but we need to understand that there is such thing as excessive. Can you say with me, excessive? Sobra. Mamaya malalaman natin kung ano yung sobra. So ito po, these are the age restrictions of social media platform. 13 and below is the minimum of all these sites na malamang kilala nyo. Ano yan? Twitter or X na ngayon, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Messenger, TikTok, Discord, Snapchat, Twitch, Reddit, YouTube. Kung meron kayong anak or apo na tuwang-tuwa kayo sa TikTok na below 13-year-old, ibig sabihin, you consent them to something that their brains, their emotions, their whole development is not ready for. Sino ang may kasalanan? Parents. Even Messenger? Yes! Ang tawag doon, digital footprint. I will be very blunt kasi wala na tayong dapat paikot-ikot. We are at the stage that we're harnessing the problems. In age restriction for some media platform, WhatsApp, Vimeo, Telegram, Tumblr 16. At look, meron mga hindi pang bata. Xbox, Xbox Live. Kung may PSP ka, di may Xbox ka. And other accounts. Age restriction for video games, meron din. Hindi lahat ng games na nilalaro ay for fun. And I'll tell you about that. Kasi yung iba, they're not made for the young brain. Are you with me? Kasi parang fun, diba? Alam nyo, ang madalas ko narinig sa mga lola, naglalaro lang naman yung apo ko. Pero yung laro po nung araw, magkaiba ba yung nilaro ng taguan base at saka ng patintero sa laro online now. At saka dati naman meron naman gadget. Naglaro ako ng Sega at Atari. 'Di ba? Pero gaano kabagal? Gaano kabagal 'yun? Natatandaan nyo ba kung gaano kabagal si Pac-Man? Hindi si Pacquiao, Yung Pac-Man, yung pinakamabilis niya, yun na yung pinakamabagal ngayon. Na-try ko nung meron kami yung maliit, yung duplicate ng Nintendo Switch. Ang bagal ni Mario. Dati natataranda na tayo doon, di ba? Nakakainip na siya. Lalo na yung Game & Watch. Sa amin yung Mickey Mouse na may itlog. Di ba? Pag ngayon binalikan mo, ang bagal. But that's the way our brain goes. Kaya wag po kayo magtaka, bakit yung mga bata ngayon, they cannot sit still. Bakit sila lacking in focus? Sinong may kasalanan? Tayo, sinanay natin sila sa sobrang bilis na pace. Because we need to learn to embrace positive sides of screen time, but with caution. You know, I've been doing this work since about 2012. In 2013, I was a co-author of Dr. Quinali Chua of Ateneo. And lahat ng sinulat namin dun sa old book namin, Growing Up Wired, are only fearless forecast. What would happen to human development in the onset and the surge of digital media and in the use of social media? Fearless forecast pa lang. Alam nyo ngayon yung lumalabas ng mga pag-aaral proving yung fearless forecast namin na effect sa development. It's still the same. I'll talk to you about some. But I'll raise this issue with you. Why does parents and families need to balance digital media use? Bakit kailangan nating balansihin? Because we're humans. Alam niyo ba na ginawa tayo ni Lord? Hindi ba pag ginaganto lang yung logic niyan? Ilang buwan nagbubuntis? 9. Meron bang pwedeng inumin para mapabilis yan? Wala. Magtiis ka. Kung mabigat na yan, tiisin mo. Diba? Walang fast forward. So in short, paglabas ng bata, tandaan niyo yung baby book. Yung baby book ng, di ba, sa pedia, ganito. So ano yung human development? Yung human development is simply saying na ginawa tayo at meron tayong pace at steps. Steps ng development. Bawat step, bawat milestone, yan ay takdang panahon na nangyayari at certain stage and age ang development. The problem with us is we allowed digital media as early as infants. Kita mo yan. The thing that I hate seeing the most, awang-awa ako, yung kumakain sa restaurant, yung family, tapos yung toddler naka-high chair, ang linis ng toddler, sinusubuan ng pagkain, pero may nakaharap na tablet. Anong mali doon? Mali! Kasi yung toddler dapat, siya yung nagmamanipulate ng food, tapos nadudumihan siya, o normal lang pong dumihan yung bata. Anong mali doon? Ang interaction, experience. Tayo ang nagbigay, tayo ang bumili, kaya tayo rin ang nag-reap ng problem. We allowed the screen to interfere with our lives and with our human development. But in reality, with the issue yesterday, issue of online bashing, issue of mental health, with the recent issue, we need to raise digital children who are emotionally intelligent and resilient. EQ and resilience, walang app that can actually develop this. It's in the home. But let me just tell you the problem of our generation. The biggest problem of our generation, I heard this from so many parents. Ito yung statement, ayokong maranasan ng mga anak ko yung naranasan ko dati. O so, tayo nagre-reklamo ngayon, konting kibot lang. Nadidepress na yung anak natin. Pag nagalit tayo, nagagalit din sila. Nagkukulong na sila sa kwarto ng 3 araw. Magugutom din yan. Lalabas din yan. Ang problema natin, sinalo natin sila. We sanitize their lives for them. Ngayon, sa sobrang linis, hindi nila kilala yung bakterya. Pag tinamaan sila ng problema, mas madali silang magkasakit. Mas madali silang bumaksak. Hindi natin in-increase yung resilience at emotional health. It starts with us. It's not the school who's going to do that. It's actually not the school. So the first thing that we should consider, know the impact of digital media risk and opportunity. So while we had online learning, right, hindi natin na-discount kung gaano kagaling ang digital media because it has brought a lot of learning opportunities. So it has both opportunities and risk. So, but you have to remember that it has to be balanced. Opportunity is actually harnessed in online learning, diba? Maraming mga bata ngayon, they can create, they can do something. Hindi mo na kailangan maghanap ng magazine para meron kang inspiration. For example, I have a daughter. My daughter is 16. She's an artsy person. Pag meron siyang gustong inspiration, I think I know na how to do this, mom. I saw in YouTube, it's like this. So, ang paborito naming app na dalawa ay Pinterest. Yung Pinterest kasi nandun yung mga interest. So, she likes beads. Maggawa ng mga accessories. Doon niya hahanapin. It's opportunities. Sino ang magaling mag-edit ng videos? Mga bagets. Sino gumawa ng account nyo? Mga bagets. Diba? Pag yung may naggalaw sa telepono nyo at hindi nyo alam kung anong gagawin, sinong tinatawag? Mga bagets, yun yung digital opportunities. So digital opportunities, it enables personalized learning. There's ease to learning materials, ease of access, ang dali nilang mahanap. Development of analytical and critical thinking skill, kaya they can tell, you know, that's fake. Mas alam nila kung ano yung fake kesa sa atin. That's fake. Look at this feature. Yan. Enhanced memory and retention and language acquisition. May mga bata, ang galing-galing mag-English. Sa bahay, lahat naman Tagalog. May British accent pa. Bakit? Ang pinapanood, si Peppa Pig. Pag English na American English, sino pinapanood? Si Miss Rachel. Diba? Yun ba yung mga pinapanood ng mga anak nyo? Nung panahon ng anak ko, si Barney, si Dora, si Diego, at High Five. Kilala nyo yon? O yun, kilala nyo rin. Sigurado ko, kayo ay Sesame at Batibot. Okay. Nagkaintindihan tayo sa generation natin. And they learn to collaborate and gain exposure to broader range of experience. So these are all opportunities. Socio-emotional development-wise, they know how to... Alam niyo yung mga bata ngayon, kahit na nasa bahay sila, di ba during the lockdown, nakakagawa sila ng project, nakakatapos sila online. Diba? Nagko-collaborate yan. Minsan sabi ko sa anak ko, gumawa ka na ng assignment mo. Ma'am, kasi iniintay ko pa yung part ng classmate ko. I-upload pa niya yun sa Canva, saka ko pa lang siya gagawin. So minsan, teamwork. Sabi ko, ano ba yung ginagawa mo? Ang tagal mo dyan sa telepono mo. Of course, tayo ang default natin. Nasa telepono ka na naman. Hindi, ma. Meron akong digital cartoon na ini-edit. Project namin to. So that's collaboration also. Making friends. They can continue making friends with, for example, yung mga classmates na nila na nag-abroad. They can continue, my friend has we're active we're active in Light of Jesus family, meaning the Feast community. May naging close friend yung daughter ko na nasa province. So maya pa rin sila magkasama. Once in a while lang sila magkita, but they're really good friends. It also helped them improve their self-esteem and understand more people. Diba sila yung mas inclusive? Mas alam nila yung diversity kesa sa atin because of that. But what are the risks? Ito na tayo sa risk. Digital media and technology, screen overuse, ito yung excessive use of screen time. Quality of content, sorry, minsan naman nasa gadget pero walang kwenta naman yung ginapaggamit. Minsan meron parang, bakit hinahayaan ng parents na mag-drawing sa tablet? Mas kailangan matutong mag-drawing sa totoong buhay gamit ang lapis at papel. Meron ba ditong kids of, may apo kayong toddler? Huwag nyo nang bigyan ng lapis at crayon. Alam nyo kung ba't mas interesting yung gadget? Kasi mas maganda yung color. So bilan nyo ng marker yung non-toxic. Mura na lang yan ngayon. Huwag kayong bibili ng mumurahin. Kasi toxic yun. So, kasi mas interesting yun for their age. So, di na ba, na ngayon, alam nyo, napatunayan na ulit that magkaiba yung takbo ng brain, mas maraming neurons ang nagpa-fired up pag nagsusulat gamit ang pen and paper as compared to typing or just digital use. Kaya minsan, pag hindi na nagsusulat, di ba, hindi na ako sanay magsulat, nakakaupod pala siya ng utak. Totoo yun. Because there's no way, kaya mas madali tayong makalimot ngayon. Analyze nyo, ilang telephone number yung kabisado nyo dati? Lahat ng kamag-anak nyo. Lahat ng tito-tita ko dati. Kabisado ko yung telephone number, tama? Ngayon yung cellphone number nyo ba, naalala nyo? Hindi. So, ganun. Yun yung logical explanation. Equitable access. This is very, very critical, friends. Decline of play and creativity. My son, when we ask him to share about his insights on digital media, one of the things that he's really sad with, he's already 19 tomorrow. What he's really sad about is that, Ma, tinan mo yung toy store. Konti na lang yung mga bata. Wala na rin magulang masyadong nag-aaway sa toy store. Alam niyo kung bakit? Kids prefer to play digitally. They are no longer keen about toys. They cannot stay put. But the experience of toy store is the experience of life. Totoong buhay yan eh. Diba? Ako dadalhin, two favorite places I bring my kids, to the toy store and to the bookstore. Decline of play, decline of reading. Sorry ha, kaya pwede talagang sabihin, nakakaupod siya ng utak. Hindi nakakaupod, underdeveloped. Hindi na-maximize. Kaya yung creativity, how can you expect them to be creative? Di ba minsan may tatanungin ka, kunin mo to, ganyan. Hindi nila alam. Bakit? Hindi na stretch. This is just what they know. Everything, you just need to tap. Everything, pipindutin na lang. Ayan na instant. Risk. Increase risk of social isolation. I've heard many parents say this. Yung anak ko ayaw makipag-interact. Meron daw, minsan may nagtanong sa akin, okay lang ba yun? Yung anak ko, ang friends daw ng anak niya, yung daw mga kalaro online. Sabi ko, hindi po. Iba yung tunay na kaibigan face-to-face. Kasi hindi siya marunong eh. Magtataka ka, bakit hindi marunong? Lalo yung after the lockdown, naging excuse na walang friends. But that is actually a red flag. Another is that shorter attention span. Would you know how many minutes si Peppa Pig? Per episode. Hindi yun na mabilang. Ha? 30? 30? One episode. Tignan nyo, shorter attention span, sa sobrang bilis ng pinapanood, hindi sila makastay put. Or kung exposed sila sa overly stimulating content, pagdating sa school, ang teacher boring. Kaya hindi rin sila makakope. So next, decline in creativity and decline in face-to-face interactions. This is something important. As digital opportunities increase, risk increase too. Be aware and manage risk so it will not become harm. Be aware of risk so they will not become, again, harm. Hindi sila masasaktan. Every time they use anything digital, there's risk. There's opportunity, there's risk. But each time, it's up to us kung magiging harm yan sa kanila. Next, understand how excessive digital media use affects social-emotional well-being. So one of the important things that you should understand is that social-emotional development happens. Andyan yung emotions, self-concept, and attachment, parental attachment or close relationship with parents. Social-emotional development, this is a one whole semester course in our program in developmental psychology. So it includes managing emotions, communicating, cooperating, resolving conflict, understanding social and cultural norms, influenced by family, peer relationship, culture, and importantly, exposure to digital media. Imagine na isang bata na hindi ka inasikaso ng magulang mo. Nung time natin, sinabing pinabayaan sa TV. Ngayon, alam mo, tinitingnan ko, parang ano na lang yung risk ng TV ngayon? Well-regulated pa ang TV. Diba? Tapos, may opportunity to pause kasi may commercial. Ngayon, wala na. Meron ako nabasa one time, alam ng generation natin yung thrill. Yung nag-CR ka, may pinapanood ka. Maybe halimbawa yung shows na mga special o kaya basketball. Yung ayan na, yung ihing-ihi ka na. O kaya inutusan ka ng tatay mo kumuha ng tubig. Di ba torture yun? Yung tatakbo ka? Nalaglag na ba kayo sa hagdanon? Yung tatakbo ka tapos aakyat ka ulit sa bahay nyo or sa kwarto yung nabangga. Ako, tanda ko, nabangga yung tuhod ko sa sofa. Yung sofa namin na nara. Ganon. Dahil sa pagtakbo. But we know that thrill. We know that our patience is being honed. So you're wondering now why kids lack patience? They don't have the opportunity to practice patience. Because everything is instant. So, we need to learn ano bang nakaka-apekto sa mga bata. So what are the issues we're encountering now? Lack of opportunities to learn social skill, reading body language. One example, nakukuha nyo pa ba sila sa tingin? Pag tiningnan nyo sila, anong nangyayari? Wala. Titingnan din lang. Why? Diba? Why are you looking at me? I remember before, when I was teaching, I used to be a guidance counselor. Pagpasok ko sa classroom, ang tawag namin doon, it's really proximity or quieting. Pagpasok sa classroom, tapos total silence, nasa harap ako, titingnan ko lahat ng mga estudyante, magsisettle sila. Parang magic. Ngayon, tapos na yung period yata, wala na ako sa basic ed eh. Ngayon yata, kahit sa college, tapos na yung period, di pa rin sila tumitigil. Bakit? Before, kayong dalawa magka-classmate, nagkaasaran kayo, magkaaway kayo, nagbatuhan kayo, pero each day, you need to go back to the classroom, you need to sit down on those seats, you need to listen to this, you need to deal with that emotion of inis. You need to contain yourself na wag manapak kasi ayaw mo magkakaso dahil honor student ka. Dahil sabi ng nanay mo, tiisin mo na lang. Hindi naman nambubuli, nagkainisan lang kayo. So the inis is there, but you need to sit down and learn to deal with that unpleasant emotion. Are you with me? And it's opportunity to practice the social skills. Look at the kids now. They're so impatient. They don't have the opportunity to practice that. Kaya mahina din sila sa pick-up. Mahina sila sa, ang tawag ko nga doon, queuing. Yung pag tinawag mo sila, wait lang. Kaya may disclaimer ako dyan. Pag narinig yung tono ko, tumakbo na kayo. Sinasabi ko sa mga anak ko yan. Diba? Because that's true. They don't know anymore the cues. Kasi mas marami silang interaction with digital media. And then they lack that practice in getting cues. So, it also weakens their ability to form real connection. Hindi sila marunong magtiis. Pag nainis sila sa isang tao, feeling nila bullying na, naiinis lang. Hindi, bullying is a separate topic, but bullying in real person, hindi lahat ng iinis bullying yon. Iba siya. Okay, and also loneliness and social well-being, negative peer pressure. Pinipressure, okay. Uso rin yung send nude photos kahit magbabarkada sa high school. Uso yan. Negative peer pressure, they make it, parang pag nakita mo tong trend ng barkada mo, kailangan mong gayahin. And another is they call it fobbing. Priority, magchat-chat na lang sila. Ayaw nilang kausapin in real life. And limited emotional depth due to over-reliance sa chat. Dahil nagchat-chat lang, tanungin mo kung bakit, hindi makasagot, hindi nila alam. Baka gumagamit pa yun ng chat GPT pag compose. Kaya tinan nyo, pati ang kanilang reasoning nagwi-weaken. And of course, cyberbullying. Consequences of cyberbullying affects mental health. Really, wag nyong ibasta-basta lang. Kaya the challenge that I have, tayo mismo I am certain we are all Catholics here. But I am certain not everyone is open about mental health issue. But please, pag nakarinig kayo ng issue ng self-harm, suicide, wag nyo ang sasabihan ng hindi makakarating sa langit yan. That's the worst that you can do. That's not being Jesus to others. Kasi may pinagdaanan yan. Real mental health disorder can make people kill themselves. And may hormonal imbalance yan. Kahit sabihin mo, hindi mo pinaglaban, hindi ka kasi nagdasal. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. Kaya may mga bagay na kailangan nating intindihin. For all you know, let us just be kind to each other. Let's be kind online because that's the kind of parenting that we want our children to see. Because stronger parent-child connection will bridge relationship. Bakit maraming bata or teenagers, they don't want to talk to their parents? Why? Can you tell me why? Yes, ma'am. Little patience lang. Yung iba wala na. I don't think they have little patience. I think they don't know how to really listen. Or they just hear, but not listen. Magkaiba siya. Another, based on my encounter with students, they always have judgments. Paano yon? Miss, bago pa lang po kami magkikwento Sinabihan na kaming masama yan, tumigil ka. So, paano kayo magkikwento? Tapos yung parents, they will feel bad. Bakit hindi nagkikwento yung anak ko sa akin? Kasi, itong mga batang to, meron silang battle cry. We want to feel heard. We want to feel validated. Mahirap yan. Kaya kung tayo ay pala opinion at pala desisyon as adults, ako yung parents Hindi po, dati kasi yung magulang natin tayo mag-a-adjust. Ngayon, whether you admit it or not, kikilalanin natin sila. They don't know how it is to be us because they've never been here. But we know how to be them because we've been there. You get me there? Good. So here, we have to realize that 3, parents as digital mediators need to evolve and be involved. Hindi na pwede itong statement na to. Ito yung pinaka-worst. Alam mo, nung araw, wala namang ganyan Alam niyo yung sagot? Wala naman talaga, so no comparison. If you keep comparing than creating solution, nobody wins. You lose your kids in the process. You lose talking to your teenagers in the process. We need to evolve and be involved. Yung pagiging involved, hindi mo sila papakialamanan. Hindi mo ipapasurrender. Alam mo, high school, tapos gusto mo isurrender yung gadget, tapos alam mo lahat ng password, magtatago yan lalo sa'yo. This is what we call parental mediation. And what does parental mediation do? In parental mediation, there are two things. Either the restrictive, meaning parents control all tech-related matters used by the child. O, bawal to, bawal to, bawal to, bawal to. Minsan naririnig ko, parang, okay, grade 6 na yung anak niya, high school, gusto niya, kontrolado pa rin yung gamit. I know the intentions are good, but it can also be detrimental. Why? Paano naging detrimental yun? Well-meaning yung parents. Kasi ito yung sinasabi kong masyado mong kinontrol, masyado mong sinanitize. Pag lumabas sa totoong buhay yung bata, excuse the term, tanga. I think you got me. Tanga. Hindi alam ang gagawin. Hindi, yung parental mediation na restrictive, you restrict everything. Sa bahay namin, restricted lahat ng apps. At 10 p.m., nag-turn off na yung gadget, what you call this, yung connection ng mga anak ko. That's nice. But did you talk about it with them or secret lang? Do they know? They should know. Because they need to be part of the process, especially kung teenagers to. And what I mean, this is what we call enabling. It enables children, internet use, and agency within the parent-child interaction. Ano tong enabling? From the word itself, enable. You enable them. May nakitang mali. Okay, binigyan mo sila ng social media at 13. I can proudly say I gave my kids social media on their own at 13. Pero, at grade 5, both my kids were given Instagram. Kasi ang lakas ng pressure. So, I will give you Instagram, but meron yun kabit. So, yung Instagram, sino may Instagram? So, yung Instagram, pwede siya 2 accounts. So, yung account ng anak ko, nung grade 4 siya, grade 10 na siya ngayon, nakakabit sa account ko. So, anytime, gagamitin niya, hihiramin niya yung phone ko. Wala siyang sariling phone. That's something that we deliberately do as a family. Hindi namin binigyan ng sariling telepono yung anak namin. Kailan namin binigyan yung boy namin? Nung nag-13 siya. Bukas, my son is 19. Nung nag-13 siya, yung Instagram account din niya, binigay na sa kanya ng daddy niya. Ikaw na yung mag-manage. That's enabling. Did we run into a problem? Yes. My daughter at grade 5 run into a problem. Why? I was out, so nasa akin yung phone. Ano ba itong alert ng alert? Alam niyo naman yung mga tita, hindi naman nagchat-chat yan sa Instagram, di ba? Sa Messenger yan o sa Viber. So bakit alert ng alert yung telepono? Sino tong nagchat-chat? Yun pala, account ng anak ko. Yun pala, may problema yung isang classmate. And it's porn-related. It's not her, pero nagsusumbungan yung mga magkaka-classmate. So when I got home, sabi ko, I did not read your message kasi minsan makikita mo yung heading lang. But I think something is happening with your friends. Tapos sabi niya, I know na, Mom. How do you know? Yung best friend niya, sabi niya, Bon called me in the landline. By the way, tinuruan po namin yung daughter ko sa kayong best friend niya na kapitbahay namin mag-landline. Nung maliliit sila, mula preschool, sila lang po yung gumagamit ng landline. Hanggang mag-lockdown, sila lang. And it worked wonders. So alam ko na po, Mom. Tinanong ko siya, so what's happening? Mom, kasi there's this classmate of ours, she's asking another friend of ours to send nude photos of her. Sabi ko, so how are you with this? Well, it's just, kasi naman they're too dalaga with their issues. For me, that is my daughter discerning what is appropriate for her age and that. Pinagalitan ko ba siya? Hindi. Ba't ko siya papagalitan? Pero nakita niyo kung paano na-moderate. At yung moderation ng critical thinking, hindi galing sa akin, sa kanya. In-expose ko siya na may ganitong bagay. I am not for TikTok. Sorry. Sa mga titang may TikTok. Sorry. When TikTok started, it's actually Musical.ly. And it has, I don't know if you're familiar, are you a tech guy? Isa siya sa pinaka-unsafe in terms of online security. During the lockdown, maraming online predators sa TikTok. Luring teenagers to the black web. Meaning the porn sites. Hindi ko alam kung na-offeran kayo. So what I mean here is that, pwede nyo explain sa mga bata yung risk. They need to understand risk. And that is enabling mediation. Sila yung mag-judge what is for them and not. My daughter is aware now, when is she binging? Sabi, I think I'm binging too much. So pag siya nagbe-binge or parang, I'm doom scrolling. Ang doom scrolling niya, naghanap siya ng mga pusa, yung mga reels ng mga pusa, food, and she knows. Pag nasobrahan siya, gagawin niya, i-deactivate niya yung account niya. That's enabling mediation. They know ano yung risk. My son, we told him, when he was locked down, he's, at the peak of nagbibinata. My husband asked him about porn. We asked him, did you access porn site already? Yeah, I saw once. Kasi pag sinabi mong bawal, kailangan nilang maintindihan kung bakit yan bawal. Hindi na po tayo nandun sa panahon na basta. They need to know why. We are the parents should be able to answer the question, why? Paglabas nyo dito, tinanong kayo ng anak nyo, ng apo nyo, huwag nyo sasabihin, basta ganun. Wala nang ganong sagot. That is enabling mediation so that they continue to interact with us and ask us. Hindi nyo naman bibiglain kami, iniunti-unti lang namin. So in mediation, you have to also be aware of excessive or problematic use. What do I mean by that? Be aware of excessive or problematic use. If you will answer all these questions, yes, there's problem with the development. There is already too much or excess of use. One, health and sleep. Indicator po yung sleep ng bata. Either teenager. Yung matatanda, sigurado ko sa Netflix yan nag-binge. Or sa K-drama. Diba? Yes. So, kailangan natutulog sila kasi doon lumalabas yung healthy development. Next, are they connecting socially? Kaya hindi pwede yung, meron naman siyang friends online. Hindi pwede yun. Dapat they're connecting with family, they're connecting with friends. Next is that, are they engaged and achieving in school? It doesn't mean that they have good grades, but they're enjoying school. During the lockdown, sabi ko sa sarili ko, sabi namin mag-asawa, ang goal natin is hindi maging honor ang mga anak. Hindi namin goal na maging honor mga anak namin. Ang goal namin, lumabas sila ng lockdown, socially and emotionally mature. Kasi alam ko, bilang isang tao in my profession, at risk yung mga anak ko sa bahay na sila lang. Maraming parents ayaw palabasin yung mga bata. But there's more risk there. Because lalo na yung teenagers, they need to be interacting with other people. So you have to be the safe space. You have to learn to expose them to the people that they can interact with. Baka magkamali, baka kung mapaano, dun sila matututo. Diba dun na naman tayo natuto? Sino sa inyo yung hindi tumakas sa parents? Yung never nagsinungaling kahit isang beses. Never. Yung gusto mo lang naman na magpunta dun sa bagong mall dati, after nung exam, tas hindi ka nagpaalam. Yung mga paalam, ganun yun. Pag nagkamali sila, pag may nangyari, and then we retool. And then we learn from those mistakes. Because they need to be engaged. And they're pursuing other interests other than school. Are they pursuing other interests? May iba ba yung pinagkakaabalahan? Sports, arts, photography. Minsan may magsasabi sa akin, ay mahilig naman pong mag-games, hindi lang puro school. Hindi po, other than digital. Another, are they having fun and learning? If they're becoming stressed, if they're becoming fearful of going online, there must be something wrong. Pag ang sagot nyo dito lahat ay yes, we have a problem with their use. So what's the allowable screen time? Screen time guideline, ever since this is the recommendation of the American Academy of Pediatrics, of non-educational purpose, 0 to 2, no screen at all. What? Sabihin nyo nga, what? At 18 months, they're allowed video call. Di ba minsan yung mga lola tatawag or mga tita, 18 months. Pero please, kung infant yan, hindi natin nakikita yung brains, but it's developing, hindi nare-reverse ang brain development. Kaya tinan nyo, ang daming bata ngayon, bakit hindi nagsasalita? Bakit parang lampa? Parang wobbly. Bakit parang naghahangtong batang to? Bakit they cannot sit still? Because of all these developmental issues. Age 2 to 5, screen time is limited with a maximum of 1 hour a day. What? Di 1 hour? Ilang episode lang yun ng Peppa Pig. Hindi pa dapat yan tuloy-tuloy, putol-putol. Isa sa umaga, kalahati sa tanghali, konti sa hapon. Dapat sa gabi, wala. Ages 6 to 12, grade school. Introduce them to a very healthy amount of screen time. Ideally, not beyond 2 hours of non-educational purpose. High school! Naku, patay tayo dyan. So, when my kids are in high school, ideally it's 2 hours. Kaya lang hindi mo naramdam. Kasi gumagawa sila ng assignment, tas may kausap sila na may ka-chat. O kaya may kausap. Yung daughter ko minsan, gumagawa ng homework, may kausap, tas nakikinig ng K-pop. That's how they are now. They multitask. So it needs to be integrated with other habits like exercise, hobbies, and social interaction. Not all screen use are actually problematic. But for me, kung meron kayong apo, anak, pamangkin, dito dapat yung pinaka-strict, 0 to 2, 2 to 5. Kasi we have what we call the cognitive or the brain development. Kaya marami ring bata may problema with motor skills. Tapos magrereklamo, tapos parang delay na siya. Tapos mag-OT. Mas mabilis. Alam niyo yung, let's be on the side of caution. Kasi ang dali-dali naman magbigay ng gadget eh. Kung mayaman ka, you can just buy pwede mong ibili yung 5-year-old mo ng iPhone 7. Pwede. Pero appropriate ba yung iPhone 7 para sa 5-year-old? High school. Ang favorite question ng parents, so kailan sila pwedeng magtelepono? Madalas dyan, bibigyan ng sariling telepono mga grade 4, ganyan. Sa akin, kung kaya na nila emotionally i-handle yung sarili nila, naintandahan na nila yung risk. Sa akin, high school, it's very practical. Kaya I really did not I gave my kid gadget, but it's a shared gadget. It's a family gadget. Yun ang tawag namin. Yung pinakaluma. Para, konti lang yung apps. Ganun yung taktika doon. Yung pinakamabagal, yung pinakaluma ang bigay nyo sa bata. Para pwede nyo sabihin na hindi pwede mag-down. Meron akong rule sa mga anak ko dati, lalo na yung maliliit sila, dapat 2 apps lang kayo. Kung gusto nyo ng new app, i-delete nyo yung isa. Ang boring ng nanay nila, no? Why? Can you read this with me? Doc, hindi ba masamang ma-board? Sa tingin nyo? Bakit? Bakit? Ha? Kasi pag tinan nyo, sa simbahan, sino sa inyo nagsisimba ng Sunday? Sino sa inyo ang nag-aabot na lola ng telepono sa apo pag Sunday? Or hindi na lang sinasama yung apo? Bring your kids to church so that they will know how to sit still in the church. Tapos nagre-reklamo tayo, ayaw magsimba na ng mga bata ngayon. Kasi sinanay natin eh. Kasalanan din natin yun eh. We did not normalize children in the church. Kausapin niyo yung mga pare na nagagalit sa mga bata. Because that's the way to evangelize young families. Kasi nahihiya yung, sorry ha mga tita, nahihiya po yung maraming young families, I read that in forums, to bring their kids to church kasi umiiyak. Kasi nasisita. But we're closing the church with young families. And we're complaining, how come the young bakit kami na lang nag-serve dito? Hindi niyo napansin? Napansin ko yan nung lockdown. Isang lay minister lang yung natira dun sa parish namin. Sabi ko, bakit kaya siya na lang lagi? Senior lahat ng lay minister. Bawal lumabas! So going back, same thing. Let the kids go to church. So what do they do in church? When my kids are little, meron silang Hot Wheels, yung mga maliliit na dolls, meron silang drawing pad na galing National Bookstore. Dati, 10 piso lang, malamang marami sa Shopee. Meron silang marker, meron silang maliit na backpack. Ang tawag namin doon, boredom kit. So pag meron silang small storybook, pag na-bored sila, kukuha sila doon. Never namin silang binibigyan ng gadget pag nasa church. Pag binigyan nyo ng gadget, pag sinabing bored sila at umiiyak sila, the problem is that you did not teach them to internally manage their emotions. Are you with me? Hindi nyo tinuruan kasi, kaya tinan nyo, tanggalin nyo yung gadget, iiyak ulit. Lalong ginulo yung sistema. So bring them to church but bring a boredom kit. That's creating a balance in the child's online and real-life activities to have healthy physical, cognitive, socio-emotional, and spiritual well-being. Ang dami. Okay, my last point. Number 4, be intentional in connecting with the digital kids. I cannot explain this enough, but these are the concrete steps, especially for teenagers. Get to know their interests by checking, kumustahin nyo sila. Pag hindi kayo kinibo, bukas kumustahin nyo ulit. Pag hindi pa rin kayo kinibo, makukulitan din yan. Magkikwento rin yan. Next, have a regular catch up with them. Ideally, in our family, pag dinner or lunchtime, walang gadget. I like the method that you did yesterday. My husband, pinasurrender sa amin dun, sa kabilang table, not in the dining table. Thank you. And then, encourage them to share their feelings. During meals, huwag po niyong papagalitan yung mga bata at sa sermonan sa dining table. Because the family table is a sacred space for the family to just catch up and connect. Kung kailangan yung pagalitan, in private. In private. Model and teach respect. You want them to be responsible digital citizens? Model respect. Kung ayaw nyo silang ng babash, huwag tayong mambash. Kasi minsan naririnig nila sa atin yun, tignan mo to, nakakainis talaga to. Ito na naman yung flood control project, may ilang million itong nawawala. Yung galit natin, napipick up din nila yan. Do not solve their problems for them. Huwag niyong solve yung problema nila. Let them solve their problems. Kaya nyo? Huwag niyong laging sasaluhin. Bigay nyo lang yung raw materials. Sila na yung magbubuo ng solusyon. Use social media issues as conversation triggers. So when I got home, the issue yesterday in social media, the death of a social media personality, pag-uusapan ko yun sa mga anak ko. How do they feel about that? What do they learn about that? And expose them to life outside the home and their online life. Expose them to life outside. Na may buhay more. Do you serve in the church? Does your kids go to the church with you? Yes, you are blessed. Do you force them to go to church with you? If it's mass, we demand. If it's the church activities, we invite. But we cannot impose. In our community, we have we call it ServeCon, Service Conference. And then I gave a talk on burnout. Nakakapagod din naman maglingkod, sa totoo lang. Alam niyo kung sino yung pinaka-burnout? Yung mga servants na nagsaserve kasama nung magulang nila sa ministry. Out of mga ganito kalaki rin kami, dun sa Juan Ayala, alam niyo, 5 yung tanong. Kung 20 yung hawak kong tanong, 5 doon na burnout kasi yung ministry head, nanay. So ano pa pag-uusapan niyo sa bahay? So here, the digital kids need authentic role models, real connection, active listening. This is just to summarize. We need to answer more of why not what. Hindi nila kailangan yung what, kailangan nila yung why. Engagement, not just explanation. Clarity of values, not just instruction. Sabihin natin, bakit natin ginagawa? Ang isa sa, let me just cap this. These are my kids. And we serve at our community. They're also serving with us. We did not impose them to serve. My son serves with the tech team. So yung feast, it's like an event like this. Yung anak ko nandun sa tech table. Nag-ooperate ng lights or minsan direktor. My daughter assists at the kids ministry, or sometimes she goes to the... And it's heartwarming for us parents that they're also doing that. But it did not come. There's a lot of struggle. There was this time, nung alam niyo yung after ng lockdown, I'll share with you this story. I shared this at the National Conference of Ecclesiastical Conference way back. I leave you with these 2 stories in dealing and parenting them. During the lockdown, di ba bawal silang magmask? Tapos, adults lang ang pwede. So, hindi pa swak yung age nila. Yung pari namin, nung bumabalik na lahat sa parish, hindi naman bumalik lahat. Pero yung pari namin, mas nakikita niya hindi yung bumabalik, mas nakikita niya kung sino yung late. Kasi yung sermon niya, laging nagsisimula sa, yung pong mga late, ang misa po nagsisimula. Sa ganito. Sabi ko, oh my God, we can be very judgy. Hindi naman niya alam na may away at battle muna sa bahay bago makalabas. Kasi 2 taon mahigit, hindi naka-on-site mass ang mga bata. Tapos, hihilahin mo ng linggo ng umaga. So, may struggle. And I struggle as a mom. Kahit gisingin ko sila simula ng 7:30, ubos na yung sermon ko. Tapos, ayoko naman na pagdating sa misa, galit na ako. 'Di ba? So, si Father yung nagagalit. Kasi late kami. Pumapasok kami mga first reading, ganyan. Nagsisimula doon yung misa pag naglakad ang pare. What's my point there? Eventually, I learned to choose my battles. Lord, usap tayo. Ang accountability ko ay sa'yo. Sorry, hindi kay Father. Pero tutulungan kong mahalin yung anak ko. Kasi nakikita nila, baka ang makita nila sa misa is yung nanay na galit. Hindi kung bakit nagmimisa. At yung paring galit. So, pinili ko lang. So be it. Kung hindi naintindihan ni Father yung struggle ng may anak. Hindi, no? Sana nga wala siyang anak. Hindi niya alam yon. But for me, that is actually lacking in empathy. Hindi niya nakita na, hello, bumaba na nga yung attendance nyo, effort na nga kami dito. I'm not justifying our presence here, but effort na nga kaming lahat na. But then, dahil doon, hindi rin nung nag-resume na kami ng feast, yung anak ko ayaw nang bumalik sa pagiging sakristan. Unang-una, hindi na cash sa kanya yung sutana niya. Sakristan siya mula 9-year-old. Nung nag-resume ng feast ng 2023 after the lockdown, sobrang tangkad na talaga. Yung hanggang tuhod na lang yung sutana niya. So, hindi ko siya mapilit. Pero alam niyo, tinulungan namin siya by just being there. There was a point, tinanong niya kami, pwede ba ma, na mag-training ako ng basketball tuwing Sabado ng umaga? Or hindi, Linggo ng umaga or hapon. Sabi ko, so hindi ka mag-feast? Hindi ka sasabay sa amin mag-mass? Pwede po ba? Anak, we allow you to pursue what you want. Pero alam mo yung requirement natin, we go to mass as a family. That's our commitment to God and to each other. Eventually, naintindihan niya. Sabi namin, you can do whatever you like. We'll support you. Pero keep this sacred. So, ang sinasabi ko dito, hindi pwede yung way dati na impose. So, ngayon, kaya ako pinapakita to, without forcing, eventually, he found himself serving. Hindi lang siya sa feast namin nag-serve. In our community, the LOJ, we have a very big conference called the Feast Conference. So sabi niya isang araw, Ma, magka-serve po ako sa Feast Conference, sa plenary. Ilan ang tao sa plenary? Kahit siya pa yung runner, alam niyo mga runner ng tech, taga-saksak dito, taga-kable dito. Kahit siya pa yung runner, the plenary would have about 6,000 to 7,000 people in attendance in SMX Manila. They need to understand that there is a life beyond school. They need to understand that there is a life beyond friends, so that they can see that even that you are engaged digitally, there's more to life than that. And it's up to us as parents. Our Catholic faith in the digital space are not competition, because it's becoming competition for many. It is a need for intentional integration. Digital or not, we have the same role as parents. Digital or not, hindi nagbago ang human development. Ganun pa rin papalakihin. With that, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.